Stamba Bihari. Gopi Jannavala Giri Varadari. Gopi Jannavala Giri Varadari. Yashodanandana Prachadana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Prachadana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari. Gopi Jannavala Giri Varadari. Gopi Jannavala Giri Varadari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari. Gopi Jannavala Giri Varadari. Gopi Jannavala Giri Varadari. Yashodanandana Vajradana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vajradana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Shri Radhe. Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai, Gantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi. So we're reading from Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita. This is John Carter speaking. At the end of the lecture, I was sure that I wanted to be initiated. And even though there was some talk of being initiated by mail, I knew I wanted to have that personal connection with my spiritual master, and he personally initiated me, personally accepted. I ran up to Mukunda and said, "How many are on the list? I would like to be on the list." He said, "Well, Swamiji isn't really taking them in any particular order. We are just going to try and pick out the most sincere people." "Please put my name on the list," I said. "I am really sincere. I really want to get initiated." So he put me down and took the list up to Swamiji. And Swamiji began calling for people one by one. After the third person, when my name wasn't called, I became a little worried. Then after the fourth person, I was really sitting on edge. And when they called the fifth person and it wasn't me, I was totally destroyed. I felt, oh, he is going to India and then he's going back to Krishna. I just lost my chance. That's it. There's no use of me living anymore. I was trying to make it to the coat rack and get my coat and get out before anybody could see me crying. I hadn't started crying, but I could tell it was coming. A couple of people patted me on the back and said, "It's all right. He can write you a letter and tell you your name." All I could think was, yeah, the way he was talking tonight, it may never happen. I could barely stand up. I went outside and started walking across the parking lot towards Golden Gate Park. I was kind of heading towards the Golden Gate Bridge. I thought, I'll just jump off. I hadn't been there long enough to understand that if you commit suicide, you have to become a ghost. I just figured that my life was useless. I got about halfway across the parking lot when the idea struck me. What if he decided to take one more and I was out here somewhere? The thought filled me with much hope that I turned around and ran back to the temple. And just as I walked in the front door of the temple, Janaki ran down and said, "He will take one more." And she grabbed someone else and ran up the stairs. I felt my knees start to collapse and tears came jutting to my eyes. Harsharani was standing there and she grabbed me by the arm and said, "Come with me." She raced up the stairs, pulled me to the top and burst into Swamiji's room without even knocking. Swamiji looked up with amazement. She said, "Swamiji, you have to initiate this boy." I was just bawling and Swamiji began to laugh. He said, "It's all right, don't cry. Everything will be all right." He chanted on my beads and gave me the name Jivananda. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Sarva Sastrati Piyusha Sarva Vedaka Satvala Sarva Sarantara Nadya Savalaika Gadrikpada. A nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular food of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all conclusive truths. You are the only giver of sight to all the worlds. Sarva Bhagavata Prana Shrimad Bhagavata Prabhu Kalitvan Totata Ditya Shri Krishna Parvatata. Devotees, O Master Shrimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun risen in the darkness of Kali, you are the exact image of Sri Krishna. Paramananda Pataya Prema Vakshaksharayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishna Namostame. I bow down to you who are supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down the flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone for your Sri Krishna himself. Mad ekabando mad sangin mad guru mamahadana manistaraka mad bhagya mad ananda namostate. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you. Sadhu saruta dayin natin nishchoshatakara anamanchagata chinmam premdaritkandiyospara. I bestow saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalted the most fallen. Please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love. Kantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So today we are reading from Canto 5, Chapter 1, entitled The Activities of Maharaj Priyavrata. Text number 10. So prose. Bhagavan api bharata tadipanita hanaha sukta vakyena titaram udita gunaganavatara sanjayaha priyavratam adi purushastam sadaya hasavaloka iti hovacha. Word for word. Bhagavan, Lord Brahma, api, moreover, Bharata, O King Parikshit, tat, by them, Upanita, brought forward, Arhana, worshipable paraphernalia, Sukta, according to Vedic etiquette, Vakyena, by language, Atitaram, highly, Udita, praised, Gunagana, qualities, Avatara, because of the descent, Sujaya, whose glories, Priyavratam, unto Priyavrata, Adi Purusha, the original person, Tam, unto him, Sadaya, with compassion, Hasa, smiling, Avaloka, whose looking, Iti, thus, Ha, certainly, Uvacha, said. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear King Parikshit, because Lord Brahma had finally descended from Satyaloka to Bhuloka, Narada Muni, Prince Priyavrata, and Swayambhuva Manu came forward to offer him objects of worship and to praise him in highly qualified language, according to Vedic etiquette. At that time, Lord Brahma, the original person of the universe, felt compassion for Priyavrata, and looking upon him with a smiling face, spoke to him as follows. Purport. That Lord Brahma descended from Satyaloka to see Priyavrata indicates that the matter was very serious. Narada Muni had come to advise Priyavrata about the value of spiritual life, knowledge, renunciation, and bhakti. And Lord Brahma knew that Narada's instructions were very impressive. Therefore, unless Lord Brahma personally went to Gandhamadana hill to request Priyavrata, Lord Brahma knew that Prince Priyavrata would not accept his father's order. Brahma's purpose was to break Priyavrata's determination. Therefore, Brahma first looked upon Priyavrata with compassion. His smile and compassionate features also indicate that although Brahma would request Priyavrata to accept household life, Priyavrata would not be out of touch with devotional service. By the blessings of a Vaishnava, everything is possible. This is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as Kripa Siddhi, or perfection attained simply by the blessings of a superior person. One usually becomes liberated and perfect by executing the regulative principles set down in the Shastras. Nonetheless, many persons have achieved perfection simply by the blessings of a spiritual master or superior. Priyavrata was the grandson of Lord Brahma, and as joking competition sometimes takes place between grandson and grandfather, In this case also, Priyavrata was determined to remain in meditation, whereas Brahma was determined that he ruled the universe. Thus, Lord Brahma's affectionate smile and glance meant, "My dear Priyavrata, you have decided not to accept household life, but I have decided to convince you that you must accept it." Actually, Brahma had come to praise Priyavrata for his high standard of renunciation, austerity, penance, and devotion, so that he would not be deviated from devotional service, even though he would accept household life. In this verse, one important word is Suktavakena, by Vedic hymns. In the Vedas, there is the following prayer to Lord Brahma: Hiranyagarbha samavartatagre putasya jata patir eka asid. Brahma was received with the appropriate Vedic hymns, and because he was welcomed according to the Vedic etiquette, he was very pleased. Om Jnanatimirandasya Dhananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vashalam Bhangulaigaiti Gurim Yakripatamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please give me your blessings that we can speak some words to inspire you all in your Krishna consciousness. So, Priyavrata is in a very safe position. He has Narada Muni as his spiritual master. He has Swayambhuva Manu as his father, and he has Lord Brahma as his grandfather. Srimad Bhagavatam explains that all three of these personalities are Mahajans. They are great authorities in the science of Bhakti Yoga. This is worth noting. And Narada is a very, very powerful preacher. He is mentioned so many times in Srimad Bhagavatam as propounding the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and transforming sometimes even the lowest of mankind into staunch Krishna bhaktas, such as the case with Mrigari the hunter, Dhruva Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj, and so many others. So both Dhruva Maharaj and Mrigari the hunter are also Kripa cities. We hear, as mentioned today in the purports, that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu states that there are two ways of attaining perfection: sadhana siddhi and kripa siddhi. So we know sadhana siddhi is that perfection attained by the regulative practice of devotional service and by following the rules and regulations. And then there is kripa siddhi, that by some unimaginable good fortune, one receives mercy from a superior senior Vaishnav, the spiritual master, or even Krishna himself. And in that way, one attains perfection. So Srila Prabhupada likens Kripa Siddhi to attaining an honorary degree. that one may enroll in a particular subject, but then due to uh, due to inconceivable good fortune, one just receives the degree without having to finish the course. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu explains under the heading of Kripa Siddhi, that there are three ways in which one can receive mercy from a superior. One is vachika, through words. One receives blessings through words. Like, for example, the spiritual master may see his disciple excel in a particular service and which gives him great pleasure. Therefore, he says, my dear disciple, may you go back to Godhead. This is the blessings, the heartfelt verbal blessings of the spiritual master. So then there is darshandana, when the Lord appears in person to the devotee, such as the case with Dhruva Maharaj, and also Narada Muni. Narada Muni himself is also a Kripa Siddhi. He attained perfection by receiving mercy from the Bhaktivedantas. It's described that as a young child, he was very gentle in nature. He wasn't frivolous in his activities. He didn't speak more than what was needed. And therefore, the Bhaktivedantas, the great sages, they bestowed mercy on Narada Muni. And by that mercy, he had the darshan of the Supreme Lord. In fact, the Supreme Lord blessed him that he would attain bhava, attain the platform of ecstasy. Yes, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says when he appears to Narada Muni, O best of the Brahmanas, I wish that you may develop unalloyed devotional service to me, which is full of transcendental bliss and all auspiciousness. So the Lord blessed him with bhava. And then the third way that one receives mercy is through harda, and that is the heartfelt blessings of the superior. Like the example is given in the Skanda Purana, that the inhabitants of Jangala province, unqualified by their although they were unqualified, by his causeless mercy, the Lord appeared before them, and they were stricken with feeling and could not look away from him. It's interesting to know that these examples from the Skanda Purana, like Mrigari, the pastime of Mrigari the hunter, that is taken from the Skanda Purana. The Skanda Purana is one of these 6 Puranas for persons in the mode of ignorance. But within that Purana, there are 4 chapters which are dedicated to Krishna Bhakti. Just an interesting point to note. So other personalities that have received the well-wishing blessings of their seniors. One was Shukadev Goswami himself received heartfelt blessings from his father, Vyasadeva. Prahlad Maharaj, in the womb of his mother, Narada Muni preached to him. So he received the heartfelt blessings of Narada Muni. So actually the blessings, the heartfelt blessings, they are essential actually for one to advance in devotional service, especially for the Kanishta Bhakta, the neophyte in devotional service. Actually, in fact, this is the only way a neophyte can make advancements in bhakti. Because the neophytes generally they're chanting Nam Aparad, they're offending Krishna. Generally, they engage in Vaishnava Aparad, so they're offending the Vaishnavas. So really, their only chance of making advancements is they do some sort of service that pleases the spiritual master. And then the spiritual master, when he sees that his disciple has done some service to please him, and he feels pleasure, and therefore, as we know, yasya prasada bhagavat prasado, yasya prasada nagati. By pleasing the spiritual master, Krishna becomes pleased. And therefore, Krishna allows that devotee to make advancement. So the neophyte has no taste for chanting Hare Krishna. They specifically chant Hare Krishna on the platform of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Srila Prabhupada gave the example, or Srila Prabhupada said, the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti means you do it because I say so. So the neophytes, they do devotional service because the spiritual master tells them to. So the neophyte generally has no taste for chanting Hare Krishna. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, that I am so unfortunate that I have no taste for chanting the holy names. So there are 4 major stumbling blocks for the neophyte who is chanting Hare Krishna. Stumbling blocks that prevent them from achieving a taste for the holy name. So the first one is tattva vibhrama, that one only has a superficial understanding of the truths taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, we find this verse, Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Prema Tattva Sar, Bhava Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Prema, Lila Tattva Ar. So the Krishna consciousness means to understand the truths about Krishna, about devotional service, about love of God. It means to understand the truths about devotional ecstasies, the mellows, the various mellows, the different relationships that Krishna has with his devotees, and to understand Krishna Lila. These are the truths of devotional service. So, tattva vibhrama, that the neophyte does not have a strong understanding of these the truths of devotional service. Therefore, they become confused. They become bewildered about how to progress in their spiritual life. So it is very essential that in order for us to make progress from the position of a neophyte, we have to have a strong foundation in tattva, in understanding the science of Krishna. The second obstacle is asat trishna, a thirst for the mundane. So there are four different hurdles under this heading. There's petty desires for material comfort. One desires heavenly pleasures, mystic perfections, or mystic powers, even the subtle desire to want to manipulate the material energy. And also, if one desires liberation, in other words, they want freedom from suffering. And then the third obstacle is hridaya durbalyam, that we hear this phrase mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, that klaibyam mas magama parta naitatvayu papadyate shudram hridaya durbalyam jaktotishta parantapa. That Krishna, he says to Arjuna, that, O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. So actually, this is a huge insult to Arjuna is a kshatriya of the highest caliber, and Krishna is telling him Shudram Hridaya Durbalyam. He's calling him a Shudra. Only Krishna could get away with this. So this Hridaya Durbalyam, this weakness of heart, this is a major obstacle. So there's two weaknesses of heart that one may succumb to. One is attachment to objects which are unrelated to Krishna. And the second hurdle is deceit, fault-finding, envy, and a desire for fame. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that the neophyte should be, or the devotee in general, should be very careful about this desire for fame. That is, this is said that with the desire for fame, if it's such an outpouring of false ego that is very difficult to curtail. And the final obstacle for the neophyte is aparad, the 10 offenses to the holy name. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes that by chanting offenselessly, in other words, attentively to the Hare Krishna mantra, one can automatically overcome all the other offenses. So for the neophyte, the only way they can really make advancement is by the blessings of their seniors. And but for the Madhyama Adhikari, they have a strong foundation. They know the proper etiquette on how to deal with the Vaishnavas, the Lord, and also the materialists. They are chanting at least on the Nama bus platform, the clearing platform, and they have a foundation in tattva. So therefore they can make steady advancement through that way. So Priyavrata, he received the blessings from his father, his grandfather, and his guru. So everything is auspicious. Although, of course, Narada Muni respected all of them respected the desire of Lord Brahma for Priyavrata to accept household life. And because Priyavrata followed the instructions of his grandfather, Lord Brahma, he received his blessings that he would remain fixed in Krishna consciousness through his householder ashram. So I'll stop there. Are there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Prabhu, just one question. You have told about the Kripa Siddhi of Shukdev Goswami. Just clarifying my doubt on that. Please excuse me if I am not speaking correctly. Shukdev Goswami, what I understand is Shukdev Goswami was liberated from the beginning itself. And that's why, even his father could not do any purificatory process that is normally done for a common person according to Varnashrama system. And so do you mean that he was initially impersonalist and subsequently by the grace of his father he became a personalist? So do you want to mean that portion or?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Anything else? Any other questions, comments? Okay, we'll stop there. Thank you kindly for your attention. Gantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gopimanande.
Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta koti Vaishnav-vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Stamba Bhava Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol.